Peace. Come in the name of Lord Supreme Wise Mind of Law. Today, Supreme Mathematics is born. Born means to produce, to manifest, to reveal, to bring forth into existence from a mental plane to a physical plane of existence. You know, a lot of things nowadays in today's reality are produced through first having a vision, having a purpose of your vision, and carrying that vision out, and taking it from knowledge to born back to knowledge, and then adding on to the cipher. You know, in today's degree, in the 1 to 40, it asks, why does the devil teach the 85% that the mystery God brings all this? Answer: to conceal the true and living God, which is the Son of Man, and make slaves out of the 85% by keeping the worship of Himself. He knows they can't see invisible, and He lives and get riches off their labor. The 85% knows that it rains, hell, snows, and also hear thunder above their heads, but they do not try to learn who it is that caused all this to happen by letting the 5% teach them. They believe the 10% on face value. Now, the key thing, you know, in that degree, is a couple of key things. When you look at it, the first one is, in the first sentence that I mentioned, it says, to conceal the true and living God, which is the Son of Man. By keeping them worshiping the Son, He knows they cannot see invisible. And He lives and makes Himself rich off their labor. You know what I'm saying? That's one point. The next point, it says, the 85% knows that it rains, hails, sleets, and also hears thunder above their heads. But they do not try to learn who it is that causes all this to happen by letting the 5% teach them. Now, the key word in that sense was, well, a couple of key words was by letting the 5% teach them. Now, the 5% of those who teach the truth, know the truth, and shares the truth with other people. You know, we don't conceal, we reveal, we make things born, we make things known. You know what I'm saying? The 10% are not going to make things known. You feel what I mean? They're going to give you some abstract answer into which what's causing all these situations and circumstances to happen. And when they're talking about rain, hail, snow, and also hit thunder above their heads, they're not only talking about the earth's conditions, they're talking about conditions and situations and circumstances in a person's life. This is why they conceal the 10%. And when I say 10%, I'm talking about those that know the truth but don't share and hold the truth back from setting somebody free. This is what causes people to be illiterate and ignorant. You know what I'm saying? As the equality degree in the 1 to 14 says. It says, by teaching and keeping our people illiterate. You know, when a person is taught certain, you know, customs and traditions, they carry those out for years, months, and days. When a person learns about their conditions, situations, and circumstances in life, and knows what causes all this to happen, they become fully aware now, and they are no longer taking things on what? Face value. Meaning that you're not only just scratching the surface, but you're digging deep into the depths of which causes these situations to happen. You know, like one thing that a lot of the 10% do to the 85% is they tell them, you know, when I'm quite sure that, you know, when you were younger, You know, when you used to hear it rain, or you used to see it rain while it was shining, you know, people would be saying some crazy stuff, some abstract stuff like, oh, I'm quite sure everybody heard this, is that it's raining while it's shining. It's saying that the devil is beating his wife, or some abstract type of reality that's not even concrete within its own context. Or, you know, when it's raining, that when you were younger, you know, that God was crying because he was ashamed of the wickedness that was going on in the world. You know, or it's lightning, thunder and lightning. God is pissed off, and, you know, he's mad at the world because they're not, you know, living holy or living righteous or doing what needs to be doing and following the will of God. Now, these things that the 10% teaches, not us, but 10% teach the 85%. They don't teach me that stuff. I came to the knowledge of myself, and I began to really understand my circumstances and conditions in my life and what caused all these things to happen. Because you know why? I allow the truth to set me free, which is the 5 power of the truth. And that power that generated force, energy, and strength that could be transformed from one state to another and bend things at will and changes the situations, circumstances, and the atmosphere. So, what am I saying? What am I saying is that, first, you have to allow somebody to teach you these customs, traditions, and beliefs in order for you to really take these things on face value and not really do sincere research. You know, you have to allow somebody to come into your circumference and teach you these things. Now, what the 85 do, they allow the 10% to teach them because either one, they've been taught this for years, months, and days, or two, it's more comfortable for them not to research and find out what's going on. Now, when things are born to you, things are revealed. You know, things are shown, things are manifested, things are produced. You know what I'm saying? Because of the simple fact that it went through a process. You know, it went through a process of the foundation, the process of being created, and then the process of being seen and lived out, and the strength and energy was balanced out through harmony, and, you know what I'm saying, God revealed and built and constructed an idea that wanted to be manifested or produced in a physical sense where you can see it. You know, so, you know, the square root of born is understanding. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when understanding is understood, it's seen clearly and recognized. So, you know, looking at it from that perspective, you know, a lot of people don't want to put in the work, or a lot of people would rather just be comfortable in their endeavors of what they feel, you know, is right for them at the time, or right for them, period. You know, I was born twice. You know what I'm saying? I was born through the womb of my mother, and I was born through the womb of mathematics, and it helped me mentally and physically resurrect myself from a state of mental death. Just because you're alive doesn't mean that you're living. You know what I'm saying? You just have to realize that, you know, because a lot of people are alive in this world and they're walking around and you see them with, using their faculties. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're alive and living, because they might not be living according to what? The truth. They might be living on another man's precepts and laws that they use to govern themselves. You know, a lot of people in churches and mosques, they govern themselves through the precepts and laws of, you know, who's teaching them. You know, the pastor, the preacher, the deacon, the reverend, the bishop, the imam, you know, but don't really go into sincere research to find out what causes all these situations, circumstances to happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of not a good way to live your life, because then you'll be living your life off of straws and sticks, a foundation that's abstract. It can't be, you know, solidified and concrete. That's not the way I want to live my life. So, you know, like I said before, you know, they don't let the 5% teach them. They just rather believe the 10% of face value and leave it at that. So going into the knowledge as cipher degree, it says who's that mystery God. It says there is no mystery God. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna go that far in that degree. I'm just gonna go and deal with the whole science of mystery. They always say that God works in mysterious ways. Nah, God don't work in mysterious ways. The only thing that's mysterious is a lot of people don't really do their research and take their knowledge and add it on to the cipher to be enlightened, but to be awakened to these situations and circumstances. This is why a lot of things are only on the surface and it's not going to the root cause of what causes it to happen. You know, and that's a shame, because when you live your life like that, that means that you're gonna bring that into relationships, into business. You're gonna bring that into when you have your own business, when you have your own children, or whatever the case may be. So what I'm telling you is to never take things on face value. Everything is subject to questioning and examining and taking things through the scientific method of approach of really researching. So study and show yourself approved, and in the end it'll pay off, and you'll really see who the true and living God is and what's really being produced and manifested in this day and age. With that, y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the near future. Peace.